All right, today we're gathering with TJ and Brad, two of the stars of Southern Hospitality, season 3 of which premieres on January 2nd. Just watched the premiere. We all just watched the premiere, so there's a lot to talk about. Thank you for being here, guys. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So are you both just at home in Charleston right now? Is that where we are?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, protecting my peace.
Got it. Well, you two, I mean, I feel like in this premiere, we got a little bit of a good peek into your friendship. Like, you guys hang out a lot. You have a fun dynamic, I think.
Yeah, Brad and I definitely, like, I don't know, our brains are very similar. I have a little bit more anxiety. I don't think Brad has any. But we are very
balance. Balance each other out.
We are very similar when it comes
very
to
similar. I would agree. We have like you said, we think alike, and we're very similar, but like also like we just get along. Like I think the only difference between me and TJ is I like sports and I'm not anxious, and that's about it.
Okay. And then what, TJ, what's different about you than he, like, what do you like instead of sports that you guys can't talk about?
Guys.
But you talk about guys. I mean, like, you talk about them.
We do.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only other difference I can think about is like I'm very punctual.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one for sure. If you need me somewhere at 7:30, tell me 7 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. But he always has a good reason. He's always busy. It's not like he's just like being lazy. Like he's busy.
That's very true. Yeah. I'm not sitting at home.
Busy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were fairly punctual today, so I'm proud of you.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Exactly. All right. So this premiere, I feel like what's great about it is that like it feels like there are some big new updates that we're getting about the whole group, but also like that reunion was pretty spicy, and so like there are some good threads also that like we're obviously still following from that. Right. What was it like, sort of, for the group between the reunion and when you guys picked back cameras for season 3? Like, what was going on with the group? Were you guys in contact? Was there group chat going off, or?
I was in contact with everyone but Joe.
Okay.
After the reunion. But yeah, I mean, it was business as normal. I mean, Will's obviously in law school, so we don't see or talk to him that much anymore, which is understandable. He's a busy guy. Like, I don't expect to hear from him every day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
What about Brad from your perspective?
I feel like, for the most part, you know, everyone, I stayed in touch with almost everyone. Me and Maddie kind of gave it a second to let it breathe a little bit. So we didn't talk there for a little minute. And then, you know, having TJ's back, part of being his friend, I'm with him through this whole Joe process and getting through everything like that. Like, you know, they had a kind of like, they had a very explosive fight. You know, there at the reunion, you saw how that played out, and then continued after with texts and DMs and things like that. So It was a very, you know, that kind of just made me look at our friendships a little bit differently, because me, TJ, and Joe are so close. It was definitely like an adjustment. And like TJ said, Will's off in law school, which is great for him. But, you know, you would hope to have a little bit more contact. But,
yeah,
you know,
sometimes that
yeah,
happens.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So Brad, do you feel like, because I feel like this group does a pretty good job of like, you know, if I'm fighting with this person, you can still be friends with them, kind of thing. But do you feel caught between TJ and Joe at all?
100%. I don't know how much of it you're necessarily going to see, but me and Joe there were one or two like pretty intense conversations that we had, because not only, you know, he sent TJ some rude texts, he sent me some not as intense but rude texts as well. And like I said, just watching how Joe treated TJ, I'm like, that same thing could happen to me. So, you know, I was very upset and disappointed in Joe. Like, yes, he can feel some type of way about TJ saying whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not like he was trying to disown Joe as a friend. He was trying to help Joe be more honest. And right. I think that he kind of took it the wrong way, and, you know, he's entitled to feel how he's felt, but I definitely told him that how he was feeling, his opinion was wrong. So
got it. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so you aren't afraid to give the hard truths, basically. So
No,
that's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
that's kind of where I come in is like, yes, if it not doesn't necessarily, directly impact me, like I would want someone to give me the hard, honest truth, and I'm treating people how I would want to be
Yeah.
treated in that
And
sense.
TJ,
yeah, and
you feel the
I'm
same.
glad you mentioned that too, because I mean, as you'll see in episode 1, it Will makes a comment that like I'm making him choose between him and Joe, and I don't. I think at a time it was very confusing to me. It was like, look, you just literally you were not getting along in New York. You were
No.
screwing each other. You basically both said that you never want to be fucking friends with each other ever again.
Yeah.
And Joe did horrible things to you guys. So I think it was just a little confusing for me to see how quick it was of accepting an apology. It was just a lot because I've always had Will and Emmy's back, so that was very odd to me how quick it was just to forgive.
Right. That makes sense. And
I
then with
never
you
want
and yeah,
feel they have to be like be caught in the middle.
choosing one or the other. Right, exactly. And so with you and Joe, TJ, it's like obviously the crux is that he got mad at you for outing the Luann stuff and kind of confirming it. But like as Brad just said, it kind of sounds like you pushed him. I mean, seeing on the show, he basically admits that it was true. He was denying it before. So you did
Yeah,
kind
I
of push him
mean,
into that territory of like, okay, this is actually what happened.
yeah, I mean, I definitely was put in a rock and a hard place, right? Everyone knew in that room in New York the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I confided in somebody, and they told the room. I'm sure that will play out later on this season.
Okay.
But
Wasn't me.
I was looking at your box down
I,
there. I was like, okay.
yeah, I mean, definitely broke trust in a way. I will admit to that 100%. I just didn't think that it would be to the caliber of what had happened.
And also like the messages that he sent you he said you were dead to him and his family. That's it's hard to come
That's
back from that. I would
intense.
say that was hard. It's hard. To
Yeah, and there's a timeline of all that too. That was a couple weeks later.
mm-hmm.
Was it?
Yeah, it was when the preview started coming out for the show.
Yes, you're right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we going to see you guys get to a better place? I feel like from Instagram, it seems like you at least hang out in the
Yeah, I
same
mean, look,
group.
yeah, me and Joe are really good friends, and yes, we
Yeah.
have our problems just like any other friend or friend groups. And there's real love there. There's real friendship, and we are in a better place. You'll see it like obviously play out, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to watch some of this back,
I'm
but
sure.
I'm excited for everyone to see us like work through our problems
Okay,
because
good.
they are real friendship life problems. And
Yeah, and you guys have been friends for a long time, so that's good
yeah,
that you helped to get through it. Brad, so you and Maddie obviously have a checkered history with one another, and she says in the premiere that basically like you guys are good as long as you don't talk about her relationship. We see a scene of you and TJ talking about her relationship. Is that going to come back to bite you? Maybe.
Fair question. No, I think at the time, there was definitely some reasons for concern, as you saw TJ voice a little bit more openly than I did. But no, to not give away too much, me and Maddie are in a better place, and
Okay.
we are friends again, and we are good, and I think that you'll see all of that play out. But
Okay.
not to give too much away, I think that yeah, we're good. We're in a better place.
Okay.
So
All right.
everything
All
worked
right.
out. We're fine.
Got it. So Maddie and Joe finally getting together. We have a lot of different points of view on that. We've seen it kind of play out. It's very clear since season one that he's had feelings for her. And did you guys always sense that she had feelings for him as well, but she was just dating these other guys? Or like, was this inevitable? Or like, just talk me through sort of the reaction when it first happened.
I don't know if she ever looked at him in that way, to be honest. I thought that, it was more of a friendship thing, and she looked at Joe as like a silly friend or like just like friend zoned.
Uh-huh.
But like, I mean, I think like she said in this episode, she took the leap and the chance, and like, they are very compatible. I think we were both very shocked to realize how compatible they are, because
Okay.
at first we were like,
extremely.
"This is weird," you know. But it's working. Like
They
at
seem
first,
very happy
it
together.
was kind
Yeah.
of like, are they kissing right now? And then now it's like they're kissing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah, I would agree. I think that we were all a little bit taken back. From the outside looking in, as Maddie's number one hater at one point in time. I think that um, seeing them together at first initially was definitely a little bit of shock. And like, I'm like, does she really even like him, or she like the attention? Does he even like her? Because we had known, everyone had known that Joe had been chasing after Maddie for 2 years. She never gave him the
Yeah.
time of day. And so, when this first things first hit it off, there's definitely some suspects. I being one of them, TJ being one of them, other people being one of them as well, not just us. But as their relationship has developed, and you'll kind of see that play out over summer, they definitely are a good fit for each other, and they're happy together. And I think
yeah,
everyone is, excited for their future for
yeah.
sure.
I've seen Joe change tremendously, and it's pretty awesome. Like he
Good.
definitely is. This relationship has benefited him. She has made him a better person, and it's the Joe that we all know, and it's amazing.
And that's all you can ask for. I feel like when a friend gets into a relationship like that, is it amplifies the best parts of them, and that sounds like that's the case.
And you can
So,
tell she's extremely happy compared to her last relationship
Oh
too.
my God, night and
oh
day.
my God, I mean
Yeah, for
that
sure.
was a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
So obviously, Joe. I mean, TJ, you said that it's going to be hard to watch some of this stuff back. In the premiere, we see you tell him to his face, or you tell Maddie, sorry, that once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah, we
Is
all
that
say when we're mad.
okay?
It could be the truth, but I was I was upset. I was
Yeah, of
mad.
course.
I don't feel that way now. However, there's always truth behind some anger. Um, yeah, it was hard watching back to see
Yeah.
the kind of headspace that I was in at the time, but it's cool to realize where I'm at now. So I'm excited
Right.
for you to see that change over.
Well, it feels like, though there was also other things that you were dealing with in this premiere. It's like you and Michael's the new assistant manager. Is he the assistant manager?
Yeah,
Adrian, yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah. So like you guys obviously have this. You're working through what you guys are too. You're like, okay, what does this mean? Like, are we? This guy's
Yes.
21. He's also like
Yeah.
kind of running the show. Like, so that was
Yeah.
part of your mindset as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Me and Michael's get along very well. There's a lot of chemistry there. It feels natural. Um, but I have to remind myself of his age sometimes, and it's not just of the age gap, but also Michael's has recently came out, and this is a new world to him.
Yeah.
And as much as I would want to be a part of that in a different level than a friendship, you kind of have to just like, I had to think about it in the bigger picture. And, we're very close, like our friend group, and he's also my boss. There's a lot of different like yeses and nos when it came to like, us figuring out what to do. You'll see that play out a little bit more, but we're in a good place now, and that's all I care about.
We see a makeout, and then you go to a good place. We see the trailer. You guys have a little moment at the birthday party.
Oh, that
So
wasn't me. That wasn't me.
that's not you.
No.
Oh shoot! I thought it was you.
Gibson,
TJ,
you're doing
that's
your
my
research.
bad. I thought it was you. Sorry.
Oh yeah. You'll see my reaction to that.
You'll
All right,
see.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. I was like,
yeah.
well, Brad, you and Lake, who's another new employee on the scene of Republic.
I was making out with her. That is her.
Perfect. Okay. I love this. She's adorable. What's to come there?
What's the tea?
Yeah, what's the
with
tea?
me and Lake, you'll kind of see our relationship develop over summer. There's some things that we both click on, and we are on the same page. And there, like TJ said, there's definitely a lot of chemistry there. But sometimes having a lot of chemistry isn't always going to create into a full blown relationship. You can check a lot of the boxes, but that doesn't mean you check every box. So I think that you'll get to see our relationship kind of grow over summer, and it's still in a good place right now. We're great, and she's a great friend of mine and coworker of mine. But you'll kind of see how it all plays out as the summer goes along, and kind of, at the end of the season, you'll see where we end up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the through line is that like not every relationship in life has to remain the romantic kind of
Right.
thing. You can still have a
Right.
strong connection,
Right.
That's
100%.
Yeah. So another big element of this season, honestly, the past 2 seasons of the show has been the Emmy and Will of it all. And last season, a lot of things were brought up about Will and, claims that he made out with somebody else. Denied it the whole time, but it seems like there's another sort of round of cheating allegations that are coming his way this season. It's
How
just
do you want
hard
to
because
phrase
like,
this?
I feel like, I'm sort of a person that's sort of like where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. And I'm curious if you guys feel that, or do you just feel like it's either that or like people just want to take them down as a couple? It's like, it's hard to tell like sort of what's going on.
I think that we both thought that there was no fire where there was smoke in the very beginning. I still don't think we both believe that last year is a situation.
Got it.
I didn't think that Will was ever capable of that.
Also, we both didn't think that in the beginning of these new allegations, we were both like, nah, like that doesn't make sense. That's not true. But then other things came down the pipeline that made us think otherwise. And like, we were not, and it's not like we went and searching for that. A lot of this fell directly, literally into our lap.
It's a small town.
It's a small town. And to think that, people aren't going to be in your business is naive. And to think that we don't know people, not just in Charleston, but like everywhere, it is also naive. And yeah, it's feel like that.
I mean, as you see in episode 1, he goes out and he says some things about Emmy that he probably shouldn't have said to, secondhand friends or people that he's not that close to. And I think that's really what sparks it of everything.
So 100%.
It's a bad situation for Brad and I. We were really close with Will and Emmy, and I don't think we both have anything bad to say about them. It's a shitty situation, and it sucks. But
it's because it's you guys are bringing it up or bringing it to the whatever it falls into your lap. It's like you're doing that for Emmy's sake or for their sake to like it's not like you're trying to bring something that's not true. It's like Emmy's a really good friend of yours, so is Will, but like I don't know. It's how do you it sounds like it's hard to get through to Emmy about it, maybe.
Yeah.
It's also a delicate situation. Like this is our friend's relationship that we've both been the biggest defendants of.
I mean, I did things to support the relationship that I probably shouldn't have done. I've got myself way too involved in
things that we will take to the grave that we have not even brought up at all.
Yeah.
And I think that where our frustrations lie are when now we feel like it turns into like target practice against us and the world is against them, and there's a lack of accountability. And I think the lack of accountability is where it became exhausting, not just for us, but for everyone.
So is your read on it? I mean, I will obviously see how it plays out, so you can only say so much, but like, do you feel like she doesn't want to see anything that might sound like it's true, or is there still kind of a big question over like whether it could even be true?
I think in episode 1, you get your own answer. It says, "I'm waiting on my kid and my ring." And she said that since day 1.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah. I think she has a 5-year plan and no one else can write it differently for her.
Which, like, if that's somebody's prerogative, that's their prerogative, I guess. So
100%.
It's hard as their friend,
like
I guess.
I love it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Sure. Totally. So zooming out a little bit, you guys, like, I've loved and supported this show since episode one. I think it's always had so much potential, and now I feel like you guys are showing that potential right now, and you have been kind of the whole time. But I say like that it's kind of the closest that we can ever really get to like early Vanderpump Rules days, where it's like, it's a similar setup, but it's just like you guys all feel really authentically connected. There's good drama. It's funny. You're a good friend group. But like, what would you say to people who haven't tapped into Southern Hospitality yet, who like we haven't gotten through to come watch this great show?
I mean, I guess what we like discussed earlier is just like the friendships and the deep history, the rawness. I mean, this is, I think, like one of the hardest things about doing this, but also again the most rewarding, is going through all these hard times with friends and friendships and having honest conversations. And it's, again, at the end, very rewarding. But I think that's like something that is a little bit different. What do you think, Brad? I mean, we also all work together, which is another whole different layer on top of everything.
I would say that if you enjoy reality TV and you want to look at what is happening inside of Charleston with the young people who really have a pulse on this town and a pulse on the nightlife, who really have authentic, true relationships in 2024, like, I don't have a gay friend. These are my friends. There's a true love story between two people that you don't necessarily see, on TV right now. And I think that that's real life. Like, this is what is really going on in Charleston. Not trying to like throw shade or anything at Charm. Love Charm. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is a different show. And it's even different than Vanderpump. Early Vanderpump was filmed in such a unique time frame that there's some things that are on TV that they were doing back then that you just can't do that right now.
Yeah.
And I think that our show is different. Our show is genuine. Our show is real, and it's authentic. And I don't think that there's anything else like it on television. And if you really give our show a chance and give an unbiased opinion, you start at season 1, episode 6, probably, and you watch it all the way through, you will be entertained because it's honest, it's real, it's raw. It's the truth.
Yeah, and I think playing off that, the biggest thing for us, I think, is diversity. We really
completely
check a lot of different boxes of, the type of humans, and just, yeah.
But I think the great part about it, and tying back to what Brad said, it's like, it doesn't feel like box checking. It just feels like a group of people who work together and hang out and hook up and whatever the hell. Like,
it's so organically raw and real and natural.
These are my friends, and I would hang out with them regardless if there's a camera sitting 10 feet from me or not. And I love them. And when I say I love them, I mean that I love them. But that's what makes the emotions so, like, real and heavy. Like, we get pissed, and I'm really pissed because you are my friend. And I think that, you don't see that oftentimes. Oftentimes you see a lot of shows get thrown together where, well, they just found so-and-so from here, so-and-so from there, where we already had these friendships. And TJ said this earlier. I think that, we 4 years before a camera was in our face, we were still doing the same thing, hang out with the same people. So, like, things that happened back then come to the forefront here, even year 3 of being on TV. And I think that, that's hard to find. And we're opening up our lives and being super vulnerable about it. But like TJ said, it's a form of therapy. It's fun and I enjoy it. And like, it's caused a lot of growth and double-edged sword, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
That's great to hear that ultimately it feels like a really positive thing for you. And the other thing I'll say about it that makes it different, I think, from maybe Vanderpump Rules is that, like, I think because of the size of city that Charleston is and sort of how clearly like a community that you guys are, even if like Grace Lilly does not work at Republic anymore this season, but Republic is still a place, it's sort of like a watering hole where everyone just comes and hangs out. And like, that feels very natural too. So like, even if the people don't work at Republic anymore, it doesn't feel like it's a stretch for them to still be around,
Not at all. This isn't LA.
There's like years of friendship.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally. Well, anything else that you guys can tease for season 3 that will get people pumped? Because the premiere is great. It really is. And there's as I said at the beginning, there's a lot of different like threads to follow here. I feel like there's some other storylines we didn't even touch on today.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I started a business on camera this year that I'm really proud about.
Amazing.
And happy with that I can't wait for everyone to get to see inside of.
For sure. I think that's going to be exciting. The growth of Body by Brad's doing great. Personal training's been great. Even Maddie's DJing career taking off.
Yeah.
That's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
And just the development of all of our relationships and the dynamic. It's really cool to see. It's fun to watch, and we have a good time doing it. And yeah, look forward to Vegas.
I was just about to say,
tea.
actually, we're ending on the Vegas trip because
Vegas
this group going to Vegas just feels like a recipe for a lot.
A lot, correct. I don't know what you're cooking in that recipe, but make sure you can feed 20.
Perfect. That it has to be Vegas. It really does. It's perfect. Well, TJ and Brad, thanks for doing this, and I'm excited for everyone to see season 3. It's going to be a great one. So, again, congrats on everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to hear from you, Gibson.
I want to gab.